I could see like a bigger perspective of it. So now I see like that stage in my life, I view it as like something that had to happen so I could be the person I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, I feel like I would have had to learn that lesson, whether it was through my own parents or it's later in life and it happens in another scenario. Like, that's how I look at it, but I'm grateful for it that it went the way it did. But ultimately, like me, what really changed my perspective on that was like how I felt emotionally was as I just got older, I started setting the intention to just really accept her for who she is. Like that was really the biggest lesson, like accept her for who she is, because it's not that something's wrong or she doesn't care. Like at some point I realized like I know she loved me. Like it is like, and I stopped questioning that part. But I was just like, oh, but I'm so bothered by this, that, and the third. So I was just like, how about you just accept her for who she is? Like, so I just started setting my intention on that. Eventually it just kind of just clicked, and I just was like, you know what? Sometimes you might not show up, but I know like every time I stop by your house randomly, you're gonna have a plate of food for me. So it's like, I look at it like her love is just, it show up in a different way. Dang.
I remember with my uncle, he was like, go wash your hands. And come back with your hands washed.
That's torture.
Oh, yeah, and it was sting, it hit your hands with that, and they stung so bad. But for us.
You just felt it, you said, ooh.
Yes, I felt it. I mean, my uncle, shout out to my mother's twin, just had his birthday October 14th and is, no longer here with us, but I mean, that is and it wasn't even to me. That was to my sister. He told that to my sister, but I feel it, that sting from that. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. Oftentimes we get hurt and we have our mental health struggles. It's because we are holding someone to a standard or to a level that they have already showed us that either they are incapable or unwilling to meet us at.
Yeah.
And either way, incapable or willing, that's okay. But if my standards are up here, and a lot of times our standards are built on based through society expectations. I grew up on, the Cosby shows and a different world, and that's what taught us what parent and family and, should be like. And anything outside of that, it's like, well, you're not, this is how mom's supposed to be, you're not doing it. This is how siblings supposed to be, you're not doing it. So my expectations is up here. All the while, they're showing you, I'm here. And either you going to, as long as you continue to hold me up here and I'm here, then you're going to continuously be disappointed. And so we have to decide, are we going to, maneuver and meet them where they're at because we appreciate their and honor their relationship or their position in our lives. There's some things, as I say, put a person in their, in their lane. Have a lane. Everybody has their own lane and leave them there. That's creating boundaries. Some people get offended by, put me in my lane. No, it's not about that. It's about, setting boundaries. The car broke down in the middle of the highway. But it was like in some backwoods, Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere where they lynching around here.
That's like a nightmare for us.
It was, but it was like the only people honking at us and everything, like the big trucks on the side of the road. The car, but we had this wonderful black family who I'm still, friends with their sons today, who was heading and driving. The mom, they were driving on their way to Memphis. They picked me and her up, and they drove us from where we were here in Mobile, Alabama. Now, we were stationed in Pensacola. So to get from Pensacola to Mobile, that's only 45 minutes. Her car done broke down.
Dang, y'all on a road trip, that's crazy.
45 minutes outside of where we was at.
Now that I'm older, I realize I don't require marriage in the same way that I thought I did. I actually, because I've never really seen it, I require loyalty. How rare loyalty and trust is. I've had trust, but I've never had that loyalty. And loyalty is so rare. It is actually more rare than I ever could have imagined it be. I've had women that loved me. I've had women that desired me. I've had women that hated me. I've had women that I believed were loyal to me. But then when things got difficult, they're like, I'm gonna head on out and I'm gonna catch me the next one. And I believe, I had this conversation. Women aren't built to protect. They're not built to protect men. And that's fine. That's not what they're there for. Men are
here to be protectors and providers. That's the man's job, protect and provide.
Exactly. And so no one realizes that there are moments in a man's life when we need to be protected.
No, absolutely, absolutely. The man's job is to protect and provide for the family, but the woman's or the wife's job is also to be a covering and protection over her mate.
Right. And usually, well, historically, in my case, when times got rough, you know what they say, the going get the going gets hard.
Tough, the tough get going.
Yeah. My tough always got going.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. So I realized in that I don't require. I'm not opposed to marriage, but I don't require it. I just require loyalty.
Okay. He came out here today with all his chest out.
No.
Look.
Listen.
He's gonna blame it on the lights, but he all glistening. He put some baby oil. He done put baby oil on his chest.
No.
Y'all, he said, I'm coming ready for Dr. O after dark. And all the singleness, got the beard, the fresh. When I tell y'all, he is.
I will say, people use the phrase. They say it all the time. They say, you have to heal from you have to heal before you go into your next relationship. And the thing is healing is one thing. You can heal, but there's a such thing as scars. You cannot ignore a scar. People want you to ignore your scars.
No, and that's when we get to the impact of trauma. Is that invisible disability? Is that we can heal from it, but we cannot change the past and what has happened. It's always going to be a part of us. So there's things that happen that take away a part of you, whether it is sexual trauma, death, war, violence, low social, whatever it is, it takes and it eats away at a part of you, and that's a part of you you'll never get back. Now, we can improve, we can heal, we can, still have a great and functional and wonderful and loving life.
That scar.
That's why his first and second wife.
That is not.
That's what I heard. The word on the street.
That is not the word on the street. The dick on the table said.
I mean, this is after dark. I'm just saying.
No. I'm sorry.
Bring it out. Come on, T.I. How you doing? Bring it out. I mean, we only believe the evidence. Never forget, my mom and my family had told me I cannot be friends with him because he was Muslim, and because he was Muslim, he did not believe in God or our God and Jesus Christ as his Lord and personal Savior. So therefore, he was going to hell. And for many, many, many years, that was the concept and the perpetuation and things. If you're not Christian, you're not raised in, this or what have you, then you're going to hell. So for me, when that was my foundation, and I had faith, I was in church and and then when my mother passed away, who had been in church, she was a missionary and everything like that, and we all had faith that she was going to make it through her illness, but God, you took her away. It didn't make sense to me. And so that began to have me question my faith and things, and I began to then go on my own spiritual journey where I began to explore world religions to be able to define it for me. Because previously, I was so much I didn't have a direct relationship with God or the Creator. It was through my mom. If something happened, I'll be like, Mom, can you pray for me? Mom, can you give me the scripture? Mom. But now that Mom is not here, I'm forced to have that relationship myself. And things are not equating. So I went to, theology school. I'm a licensed minister as a result of that. That wasn't sufficient for me. I studied Islam, Judaism, Wicca, paganism, Urdu, Hinduism, Buddhism, you name it, in that I had studied it all to try to define and find out about my creator. Right. What I learned was that I'm more a monotheistic.
I grew up going to Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday. You're gonna be in church. You're gonna be in church. You're gonna get up in the morning, you're gonna go to church, and you best not fall asleep in there. You better not fall asleep in church.
And the communion crackers, you better not be eating them because you've been hungry, because you've been fasting all day.
You better not, you better wait.
Starving. What is to a kid fasting? If we don't get the concept, that's just starving. That's depleting us of our fried chicken. Y'all want us to go on liquid fasts and everything else. God, but what I also learned in regards to what we conceptualize as Wicca and Wiccan and witches and paganism is through our culture as being African American and descendants of Africa, and in Africa their medicine and their treatment is holistic from the earth, from roots, from herbs, from this and for that. And when the colonizers came to Africa and they seen that it was not how they worship and how they define religion and worshiping a white god, they then labeled it as demonic and paganism. But if we think, what is the closest way to God than what he's already created? And so I learned through that things that was taught that witches and and that's not even, I don't even like using that term because it has a negative connotation to those who are more or less herbalists. I'm not going for the traditional white American westernized psychotropic drug. I'm going to healing a natural way with herbs and from the earth. But if I do that,
you look down upon.
I'm a witch.
Yeah.
I'm going to hell.
And then even if some people view it in a scientific manner, they don't see it as good as pharmaceuticals because, you got it from the earth and that's not FDA approved, that's not disapproved, that's not that. It's a whole lot of negative connotation no matter which way you're kind of looking at it. They like to demonize it.
Tell us. I got a couple of people on my list. Now, all y'all might be thinking like, oh yeah, I got my list. But there's a reason why I have restrained from doing the things that calling on the ancestors and blessing them, because my ancestors are powerful. You don't want to mess with me. I'm just telling you, better watch out. But I don't want the negativity brought back on me.